what I ended up figuring out was that I didn't really want any husband. Hey folks, it's Carrie from Pretty Neat. Thanks for joining me. If you're new here to my channel, welcome. I share videos here every week about organizing and decluttering your home and adopting a minimalist mindset, so I hope you'll hit the subscribe button and stick around. Today, I want to talk about the one thing that I think is most important if you're trying to adopt more minimalist principles into your life. The one mindset shift that has been most helpful for me in terms of adopting a minimalist mindset and being able to let go of some of the unnecessary stuff in my life has been letting go of expectations. I find that every time I talk about minimalism here on my channel, I end up touching on this topic in some way or another. This idea of letting go of society's expectations for us. I'm talking about all of the messaging that we get throughout our lives. So what we've been taught from our families, what we have been taught by society, all of those messages that we get from advertising and the media. The general consensus of all of this messaging throughout our lives is that we're supposed to take this specified path. The idea that you get older, you choose a career, you work towards becoming a success in that career so that you can make a lot of money, and you get married at a certain point, you have kids, you buy a home, and then as you become more successful, you move into a bigger, more elaborate home, and you fill it with lots and lots of stuff. You fill it with status symbols. This is what we're told we should be aspiring to. It just is a bunch of crap. The reality is there is no one path that's right for everyone. And while some of that might work for you, it might make you feel fulfilled, it might be what you want to do, it doesn't mean that it's right for everyone, and it doesn't mean that you have to do all of it or even any of it. I think it's helpful to think about what is motivating this messaging, what is behind it. And for the most part, it is about making money, right? Advertisers, retailers, they are trying to get more of our money. And so by selling us this idea of the American dream or kind of the ideal life, it will prompt us to spend money on those products that will get us closer to that ideal. One of the main tenets of minimalism, something that I've talked about a lot and other people in the minimalist movement have discussed this as well, is that it's really about making intentional decisions. So rather than just going on autopilot and doing the things that are expected of us or that are kind of handed to us, or rather than following the script, it's about really examining those decisions and thinking about what is really right for you, what it is that you really want to do, what it is that you really want to own, what you want to fill your home with, thinking about how you really want to be spending your time. What are your core values? All of these things, by examining them, allow us to make decisions that are really more in tune with what is right for us as individuals. We may choose to do some of these things that are expected, or the things that society tells us we should do, and that's fine. But the point of adopting minimalism is really thinking about those decisions and making them on purpose and not just going on autopilot and doing the thing that you're supposed to do. I've been getting a lot of value out of this Instagram account. It's called the LA Minimalist, And the creator over there, she does a lot of really fun and creative videos about this topic of letting go of expectations. And she uses the phrase, "the rules are fake," to talk about all of these so-called rules that we are supposed to be following. But if you dig a little deeper, you see that the rules are fake. They're just made up by society, and we don't have to follow them. That's our choice in most cases. She encourages us to make our own rules, to break the rules if that feels right, and to do what is best for us as individuals. She encourages us to see that the rules are not necessarily in place for our benefit, but they're there for the benefit of corporations or for, upholding these certain values of society that we might not personally ascribe to. I'm going to share something a little bit embarrassing, which is my high school yearbook. I'm never gonna dance again. And I don't know if this was a common thing, but in my yearbook, we had a thing called Senior Memories, and you would submit text that would then be printed in the yearbook. For the most part, people used it to call out their friends or to reference inside jokes. I revisited mine, which is really embarrassing, but I ended this thanking my parents and then saying future happiness, nonconformity, and a house husband. So that was what I thought was in store for me in the future. The nonconformity piece, though, makes me laugh because I certainly thought of myself as a nonconformist in high school, but I wasn't by any stretch of the imagination. My idea of nonconforming at that age was like wearing a lot of black clothes. I did have that seed of, I really admired people who did not take the prescribed path. I feel like even at a young age, I looked up to people who had the courage to do something different, to not just follow the script. And as it turned out, I did follow the script in many ways for a good portion of my life. I went to college, I got a degree, I got a good job, I got married, I bought a big house, I bought a bunch of stuff. But what I ended up figuring out was that a lot of that stuff really didn't hold value for me. And I've talked in more detail about this in another video. I'll link to it below. It's about my journey towards minimalism. I lost my dad at a young age, and that experience was really impactful. It made me examine everything in my life, and it really made me understand the limited time that I had to live my life. That experience of losing my dad, it made me let go, I think, of some of the expectations that I felt, because I was like, I'm gonna be dead someday. I wanna make sure that I did what I wanted while I was here, and that I lived a life that really felt true to me and not one that was just kind of scripted for me. I think there's a lot of ways of getting at what it is that we really want. There are a lot of ways of tuning out the societal expectations and tuning in to our inner voice. Different things will work for different people. For me personally, spending time alone. I like to journal a lot. That's very helpful for me to sort of get at what it is that I'm really thinking and feeling. For some people, it might be meditation or spending time in nature. Anything that allows you to kind of get quiet and to tune into what it is that you want, I think can be really helpful. I've also done a few written exercises that are designed to help you figure out what your core values are, and I think this can be helpful as well. I will share one that I really like down in the description box below. But basically, figuring out what it is that's most important to you, and then shifting your life to better accommodate those priorities is the key here. And I think I should mention that being able to design our lives as we want is something that is really available to those of us who are in a privileged position. I was able to go to college and get a degree, and I haven't struggled financially in my life in a really extreme way. So I have been given the freedom to make these decisions for myself, and I just want to recognize that not everybody has that freedom. Making these decisions about checking out of societal expectations are probably not going to be relevant to everyone. So how does all of this relate to our relationship with material things? Well, as I mentioned, I think that a lot of the messaging that we receive really is about materialism. It's about creating a quote unquote need. Letting go of the expectations, letting go of the rules means we can make more intentional decisions about our purchases. If you are trying to adopt a minimalist mindset, if you are trying to let go of some of the unnecessary or excess things in your life, getting clear on what your values are, getting clear on what is most important to you is really key. And part of doing that is letting go of some of the stuff that has been learned, some of the expectations that there are on us in terms of what we're supposed to do with our lives, what we're supposed to own. If we can let go of some of that stuff we've been taught, some of those expectations that we feel are on us, that will allow us to also let go of some of the stuff that goes along with those ideas. If we can tune into what's most important to us, we can decide what stuff is most important to us as well. So I'm curious what expectations you have let go of in your life, or maybe things that you are struggling with. Let me know in the comments down below. I hope this video was helpful. If it was, please hit the like button. It really helps my channel out. And don't forget to subscribe. I share new videos here every week about organizing and decluttering your home and adopting a minimalist mindset. Talk to you soon.